The Australian Dream is a 2019 documentary film that examines the experience of a former Australian football player Adam Goodes, as well as racism and identity concerns in Australia. The documentary follows Goodes' career, his journey as an Indigenous Australian, and the controversies and problems he's experienced. In the beginning of the film, we see an aerial shot of the native Australian land. It also shows Goodes' family origin, which allows us to see how important his culture is, not only to him but his family as well. In other shots, we also get an aerial shot of the playing field. This shows Adam's connection and love for the game and shows his connection with himself and the audience. It then shows a montage of the Indigenous people mourning and supporting each other on Invasion Day. We can see that this is a big toll on the Aboriginal people, as they mention that it's a very big struggle to be a child and feel different to other people just because of the colour of your skin. I remember sitting in the bath and trying to rub the colour of my skin. This is a quote that emotionally connects the audience to the Aborigines and makes us feel for what they have gone through and still have to go through to this day. The attention then switches to another very iconic and famous Indigenous AFL player, Nicky Winmar. Just like Goodes, he was also called very inappropriate and uncalled for names, but he just ignored it. Winmar said, "I'm black and I'm proud." This shows how strong of a person he is and how much of a role model he can be to all Aboriginal children and families. He responded to the racist taunts on the playing field by lifting his jersey and pointing to his chest. The photograph has become renowned as a response to racial insults. Goodes later then recreated this image to show how passionate and proud he is of his culture. The colours then switch to black and white, and they show images of the Aboriginals after Invasion Day, which show how everything they had was taken away from them, including their family, land, and simple ways of living, and everything they had to go through during this time. This spear, Goodes' war cry, was a symbolic gesture and expression of his Indigenous identity. It reflected his resilience, strength, and connection to his cultural background. The battle cry was performed before games to recognize and honor his ancestors, as well as to motivate other Indigenous Australians. The war cry is a dance-like action that mimicked spear throwing, accompanied by a guttural vocalization. The movements and sounds were a tribute to his forefathers, representing their hunting traditions as well as the strengths required to face diversity. Aside from its symbolic significance, Goodes' war cry was a powerful message against racism and prejudice. During his career, he suffered a lot of racial abuse from onlookers. The Australian Dream presents Goodes as a symbol of the ongoing struggle against racism in Australia. It aims to raise awareness about the systematic issues faced by Indigenous Australians, the impact of racial discrimination on individuals and communities, and the power of resilience and activism in overcoming adversity. The documentary also digs into Goodes' experience with racism and prejudice throughout his career. It delves into instances of racial abuse leveled at him, notably in his career. The film examines how these experiences affected Goodes emotionally and the impact it had on his mental health. Goodes is a big advocate for the AFL community, not only because of his outstanding talents, but what he has said and done for the Aboriginal men, children and women.